Okay, hi everybody. I know we had technical difficulties today, but we never let technology stop us. So I'm going to record it and we'll post it. And of course, you can take so much away from this beauty right here. I'm so excited and so honored that she's here to share with us, even through all the difficulties. She's sticking by us, guys, so that's cool. But we just got off a great call with Dynasty United. Corey was helping us learn how to find balance through all that life throws at us. With me, it's moving or deployment or anything like that, just finding balance and be able to grow our business, remembering why we started, why we fight for it, and then learning how to find balance through it all. So if you didn't check it out today, make sure to hop over to Brittany's YouTube and check out the recording. But today, Makala's, she's so cool. You got to follow her if you haven't yet. She embodies the topic that we're going to talk about today, being yourself on social media, really finding your voice. Because I know as a new coach, it was hard for me to find my voice at first and who I wanted to be as a coach and attract. And so I know that I'm still going to take away a lot from this, and I know that you will too. And it's something that's so important. It makes posting more fun. It makes social media more fun if you figure out how to be yourself and not think too hard about it. And I'm sure she'll talk about that. But she's a 2-star diamond, stay-at-home mom, Success Club 5 all-star legend. She's a big deal, and she's here today to really talk to us and share with us a bunch of her knowledge, and I'm excited to have her here. So I'll pass it over to her and make sure we're stay recording, and we'll run with it.
All right, perfect. Can you hear me? Yes, I hope so. Okay, good. So if you hear my kids screaming, I apologize. I have a 5 and a 3-year-old, and it's chaos at my house, so just ignore it. But like Miranda said, my name is Makala Clark. I'm a 2-star diamond, and I am excited to be here and to share my story with you and to I think this has been really huge for me in my business. This is what's moved me forward, is discovering who I am and finally being comfortable with sharing who I am. So I'm going to give you a little background about who I was before who I am right now, because it's so important. Like, your story is huge. So before I became a coach, growing up, I grew up in a teeny tiny town in Idaho. It's like less than 1,000 people. And I was always thin. People would make comments about me, call me skinny mini, lots of different things, and it never really affected me. I never really thought much about it until I started getting into that junior high school age. My mom was a single working mother who I am so entirely grateful for. And I remember, but growing up, I was an only child up until I was 8. My mom married my stepdad, who is now my dad now, and he had 2 boys. But up until that point, it was just me and my mom. And I can remember a lot of my childhood weekends were spent playing by myself because my mom was overweight and she was sick a lot because of the effects of that. Migraines, she had knee issues, she struggled with anxiety and depression, and it was really, really hard. Hold on just a minute. Sorry, 3-year-old. Okay, so anyway, she just struggled with a lot. And I remember growing up wishing that I had more of a bond with my mom. I saw all my friends going out with their mom shopping, and shopping wasn't something we got to do because, we went, but my mom, struggled with confidence, and she struggled with, we went shopping and we didn't just share clothes, or, she wasn't into fashion because the fashionable things weren't really her thing. So growing up, both of my parents were overweight, but like I said, I was thin. I was very active. I was a dancer. I was on student council, and I just really stayed active. I didn't really know how to eat healthy, though, because like I said, I grew up in a household that wasn't healthy. And so while I was thin, I was what you would call, skinny fat. Like, I wasn't healthy in any way, shape, or form. Right before I graduated high school, one of my very best friends, it was 3 weeks before graduation, she passed away unexpectedly. And that really threw me for a loop, and that really caused a lot of problems in my life. And so I ran away from home pretty much after I graduated high school. I graduated high school, and 3 days later, I moved away to college. And it was, I had to get away. I had to get away from that life that I was. So I enrolled in college. Out of the 13 credits I took, 2 of my classes were fitness classes because I was bound and determined not to hit the freshman 15. And so I took an hour and a half of kickboxing twice a week, and then I took an hour and a half dance class twice a week. And while that was great, I still didn't learn anything. Like, I didn't gain weight, but I still wasn't healthy. I was still eating junk and not taking care of myself. I then, after college, they kicked me out because I just wasn't doing what I should have been doing, and I didn't know who I was at that point. So I ran away from home, from there, and I moved in with a boy. And I won't call him a man because he wasn't one. He treated me terribly. He was very mentally and emotionally abusive. There were times when if the dog did something, I was the one who got in trouble, not the dog. We were driving in the car one time, and there was a song on the radio I really liked, so I turned it up, and he pulled over my car and threatened to kick me out on the side of the road if I didn't turn it down. And I went through that for luckily I was smart enough that I only went through that for about 3 months, and I ran away back home to my parents. At that point, I had a mutual friend who had been messaging me on Facebook, and I had told him I was coming home, and he said, well, where can I meet you and pick you up? And I met him in a parking lot. He was, like I said, a mutual friend. We grew up in rival towns, and I had my hair in a ponytail, mascara running down my face. And this guy drove me around listening to me just cry and pour my heart out and tell him everything, all my story. And that guy ended up being my husband. So I don't feel like I need a man to, save my life, but he did. He is my knight in shining armor. He taught me, I don't know if you guys believe in God, I believe in God. And he taught me that you can never go too far in life. God will always love you, and you can always change your life. And through him, I reconnected with God. I have an amazing, strong relationship with him. And that's kind of what happened to lead me up to this, sort of. So after we met, we got married really quickly. Like, we met the end of August, and we were engaged by the end of October, and we were married by March of 2010. Yes, really fast. But I'm proud to say we've been married 6 years, going on 7. So we got married, and right after we got married, we found out that there was this incredible business opportunity for my husband. We grew up in a small town, like both of us grew up in these small towns in Idaho. Everyone in our family lived within an hour and a half of each other. But this business opportunity with our family business would take us to Minot, North Dakota. I don't know if you guys know where Minot, North Dakota is, but it's cold, like really cold. And it's 1,000 miles away from Idaho. And I didn't want to, but I knew in my heart that this was going to be the best thing for our family and for our future family and everything. So 6 weeks after we got married, we found out we were moving to Minot, North Dakota. And then a few weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. Yep, we moved fast. So we moved to North Dakota at the end of July in 2010. And I like to say I was the cute, pregnant, fit workout girl. No, I was not. I ate cookie dough, and I was depressed because I missed my family. I moved with my husband 1,000 miles away, and we were each other's support system. And at that point, Beachbody kind of came into my life. Beachbody's actually always kind of been a part of my life. When I was a little girl, my little brothers and I would make infomercials for Buns of Steel and Thin Thighs. So I've always known Beachbody. And then when I was pregnant in 2010, I was looking for a meal replacement because I was terrible at eating breakfast, and I knew I needed to eat breakfast. And so I looked up Shakeology. I saw the price tag, and I was like, there is no way I'm going to be able to afford Shakeology. So it kind of left my life again. And I had our daughter in February of 2011. And after that, I really took a dive. Because I was 21 and a brand new mom, I felt like I lost myself. I didn't feel like I could be the young, hip person I was because now I was a mom. And if I wanted people to take me seriously, I was going to have to start dressing and playing that part, right? Like, I know mom jeans are coming back right now, but no. I was in jeans and a t-shirt, and I pulled my hair in a pony every single day, and I didn't take care of myself because my main focus was my daughter, which it should have been, but I'm also important too. But I didn't know that at the time. I really dove deep into baby blues and postpartum depression. I never was diagnosed, but looking back, I know exactly that's what I had. There were nights where I cried, rocking my daughter to sleep, telling God that if he took her away from me, I totally understood because I did not feel fit to be a mother. I loved her and I did everything that I could possibly do for her, but I just never felt that it was enough. Hold on just one second. My kids are screaming. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. Anyway, so I cried a lot and told God he could take my daughter away because I just did not feel fit to be a mom. And I lived like that for 2 years. My poor husband, he would tell me I was beautiful and immediately I would snap at him. I hated the girl I saw in the mirror, and it wasn't because necessarily of my physical appearance. I just didn't like who I saw. I didn't recognize her anymore. She wasn't that fun, spunky person that I remembered, and I lived that way, like I said, for 2 years. Like I said, my family moves really fast, and 22 months later after my daughter was born, I had my son. Yes, we're crazy. And he was born in December of 2012. And I remember laying in the hospital bed thinking, I can't go back to the girl I was before. I can't live like that. And so I decided right then and there that something had to change. I had to do something different. And so I, right when I was cleared to start working out, I signed up for the YMCA. I was like, I am doing this. But the only class available at that time was a kickboxing class at 5 a.m. And so I would have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to leave my house to go to kickboxing class. Because you don't want to take your babies out in negative 50-degree weather to go to the gym. And so the only time that my husband could watch our kids was in the mornings. So I would get up at 4:30 in the morning. I would go to the gym and I would do a kickboxing class. And it was great and I loved it. But my little boy had colic, he had acid reflux, he just had he was a sick baby. And so I was up all night long with him. I also had a 22-month-old daughter, and 4:30 a.m. was kicking my trash. And I was starting to slowly fall back into the girl I was before. Like, I was slowly starting all the progress that I had made, all of a sudden I was losing it. And so I looked at my husband and I'm like, I have to do something. And he looked at me and said, well, what if we did insanity? I had never heard of insanity before, never seen an infomercial. And I looked at him and I said, well, I do kickboxing, so yeah, let's do it. I did not realize that insanity is what it says, insane. And so he ordered it from some random coach. We didn't get Shakeology, we just ordered it. I think we did the payment plan, and we got it. And I did the fit test the first day, and I loved it. I thought I was going to throw up, not going to lie. There were a few times that I wanted to quit, but I loved it. I loved how I felt, and I loved Shanti. Shanti's my boy. But being the cocky person I was, I thought, oh, well, my little boy is kind of feeling a little bit better, so maybe I'll do the YMCA and kickboxing, which was, and insanity, and not a good idea. I ended up having to go to a foot doctor because I couldn't walk. I literally was crawling around my house for 3 days because my feet hurt so bad. And he basically told me something has to give. You've got to decide. Pick one. And it was a no-brainer because I got to save $90 a month on a Y membership that we really didn't have the money for. I mean, we weren't we weren't struggling, but we didn't have extra money. So I picked Insanity. And through Insanity, I've lost 30, and Beachbody program since then, I've lost 35 pounds. I lost a whole lot of inches, but most importantly, I gained confidence. I fell in love with myself, and I started seeing this person in the mirror, and I really loved her. I started Insanity in the spring of 2013. Didn't know about the coaching opportunity, but I was the girl that was taking sweaty selfies every single morning, showing up on social media. I was posting quotes. I was sharing my healthy meals because, like I said, before that, I had never eaten healthy really in my life. And now all of a sudden I was like trying things like broccoli, and I was actually kind of liking it. And so I started sharing that. I was that girl. But most importantly, the reason I was sharing it is because I was holding myself accountable. I had to hold myself accountable. And I knew that if I did it through social media, that somebody was somewhere was watching. Then in the fall of 2013, I started looking for a job outside the home because I was like, our family, like I said, wasn't struggling, but we were tight with our budget. And I was like, I am a capable human being. I can bring a little extra cash into our house. So I started like looking and applying for jobs. Where I live, you can like, they literally test your wrist. They're like, oh, you have a heartbeat, you're hired. I was offered a manager position at a salon like the day I applied. I was offered a lot of jobs. But I figured out a few things. Daycare is super expensive. And I had not wanted to take my kids to daycare if I didn't have to, because I had worked at daycares. And I just remember parents dropping their kids off first thing in the morning and being the last to pick them up. And I remember how heartbreaking that was. And so I did the math, and I figured out that I was going to be bringing home like $20 a month. And I thought, oh my gosh, is that really worth it? Because my kids are going to go to daycare. I'm going to be missing them. If we ever, like I said, I grew up in Idaho. Our family was all in Idaho. If we wanted to go visit them, I was going to have to ask somebody for time off. If my kids got sick, I was going to have to ask for that. And I was like, I can't do that. And about that time, my friend, who actually, funny story, is now a personally sponsored coach of mine, reached out to me and said, hey, did you know there's this thing like a coaching thing? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And she said, well, there's this girl on my Facebook page that's looking to have coaches join her team. I'm going to send you her info. So she sent it over to me, and I looked it over. My coach sent me a 2-hour What is Coaching webinar. Do not ever send a 2-hour webinar. Ugh. I did not watch the 2 hours. I watched 20 minutes. It was her story. And it's actually her upline story, Brigitte Linford. And I heard Brigitte's story, and immediately I was like, this is for me. I have to do this. I want to do this. I had no idea like how it really worked. But then the doubt and fear crept in. And my husband, he's the dreamer, thank goodness, because I'm the realist. And I told him about the opportunity. He goes, we've always wanted to try Shakeology. You might as well just do it. Go for it. Sign up. So I signed up. I bought a T25 challenge pack. And I got my Shakeology. I was so excited to try it, you guys. And I didn't really pay attention because I knew how to make protein shakes. And I put it in 8 ounces of water in a shaker cup, and shook it up, chocolate, and I took a drink. And I started to cry because I had no idea how I was going to sell Shakeology because I didn't like it. I took one taste and I hated it. Called my husband. He was like, oh, you can just sell your bags, you know? And I'm like, yeah, that's not how it works, because the day I signed up, I watched the 3-hour training videos Beachbody sent me, and they said, you have to be proof of the product. And I was going to have to drink Shakeology. I've now found my way. Peanut butter banana, so good. But that was my experience with Beachbody. So I signed up October of 2013. I really didn't do a whole lot with the business. I made $0 my first 2 months as a coach. The only money I made in December was off of a challenge pack. It was like $32 because the girl who who had presented the opportunity to me said she felt guilty, so she got a challenge pack from me. I didn't really do much with the business. Like I said, I did a lot of stuff, but not really. I just kind of played around and, didn't really take it seriously. I didn't do the 3 vitals every day like I should have. In fact, I didn't do any personal development. And so that's just kind of, but then January of 2014, that's what I call my start month, because that is when all of a sudden I was like, why not me? All of a sudden it clicked. Like, you can do this. And in January of 2014, I hit Success Club 18. I went Emerald. And then in March of 2014, I went Diamond. And I consecutively had been hitting over Success Club 10. It's all tapered off a little bit since then, and I'm consistently hitting SC5. But it was all that mindset of all of a sudden, why not me? And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what kind of changed my mindset and what kind of made that switch for me. So when I first started to be a coach, I looked at people like Lindsay Matley, Melanie Mitro. Brittany Leggett is actually my girl crush. Looked at her. I looked at Brigitte Lindbergh, Scotty Hobbs, all of these coaches that are successful. And I tried to be them. I'd see a post that they did, and I'd be like, ooh, that's so good. And I'd copy it, and I'd paste it, and I'd switch a few words up, put my own little picture with it. And while it got okay engagement, it wasn't really it wasn't effective as theirs, right? And I couldn't, at first I was like, I don't get it. I'm supposed to duplicate, success leaves clues. You're right. Success does leave clues, but you've still got to be you. And I didn't get that. And I wasn't at a point where I felt confident in being myself and sharing who I was. Vulnerability is really hard. And so I didn't believe in myself at all. And I didn't believe in personal development. I will tell you, when they told me to read personal development, I was like, that is the most granola thing I have ever heard in my entire life. That is crunchy. Who does that? Because the personal development I had heard of at that point wasn't really, it was pretty extreme personal development. Now I love extreme personal development. But, and so how I started with personal development is I'd heard Scotty Hobbs, he's one of my upline coaches, he was talking about how before he became a top coach, he would visualize in his hot tub. I think everyone should have a hot tub as a coach. But every day he would sit in his hot tub and he would visualize what his life was going to look like when he reached those goals, when he was able to retire his wife, all of those things. And I'm like, gosh, that's cool. Visualization sounds a little cheesy, but if it works, hey. He recommended the book, The Secret. And I tried watching it on Netflix. I don't recommend the Netflix version. I couldn't get past the beginning, but I read the book. And I was like, to humor them, I was like, okay, I'm going to actually show them that personal development does not work. But all of a sudden, my life and my world was changing around me. I was starting to see success. And because my life and my world was changing around me, I was starting to gain confidence. And all of a sudden, I'm writing posts from the heart. I'm not taking Melanie Mitro's posts and copying and pasting them and changing a little bit. I'm actually using my own creativity, and people are liking what I'm saying. My coach wasn't someone who told me I needed to do personal development. She would do one-on-one calls with me. She asked me how my personal development was going, and before I started, I was like, oh, I'm just reading Pinterest quotes. No big deal. And she would be like, no. So if your coaches are saying they're reading Pinterest quotes, that does not count as personal development. So I really started to see how much value I had within. And all of a sudden, like I said, my world was changing around me, and I'd be watching TV like Mary Poppins with my kids, or, Finding Nemo, and all of a sudden I'm hearing these incredible life lessons. And it's exciting. And so one of the things that I always tell my coaches is just to let your freak flag wave. Let it fly. We are all weirdos, okay? If you think you're not, you are. We all have these weird little quirks about ourselves which make us unique, which make us who we are. Let those things fly. Stop trying to hide those things that maybe make you a little different and weird. Don't hide them anymore. I'm currently obsessed with mini pigs. I want a mini pig, and I tell people that. And it's weird. I don't care. I like Harry Potter. I like princesses. Be you. Be unapologetically you, and let your freak flag fly. Because when you start being yourself, you're going to start attracting people to you. Because your vibe attracts your tribe. I'm going to tell you this right now. When I first started and I wasn't really being genuine to who I was, I attracted a lot of people to me who were not like me at all. And we had struggles because I was presenting myself a certain way on social media, but behind the scenes, I wasn't that way. You can't be that way. Your Facebook page, your like page, whatever you use, whatever social media you use, that is like your storefront window. For people to, like, when they're walking by, they're kind of window shopping, and they decide that they want to learn more and come on in and learn about you and maybe purchase from you and maybe join your team. So your storefront window has to match what's inside the store and who you are and how you run things. It's all got to connect. Two of my favorite books, I know you probably have read both of them, but they're still my favorite, You're a Badass and Girl Code. If you have not read Girl Code, get that book. I have it all marked up. It is so good. One of my favorite quotes from it is, stop spending so much time watching others. Learn to trust your own brilliance. Go with your gut and believe that you have something uniquely amazing to deliver the world. Because you do. There is nobody else on this planet that is like you, that thinks like you. Nobody. And so you have this incredible gift to share with the world. You are a gift to this world. You need to share it. Stop hiding behind it, stop trying to be everybody else, and just share your story. Share who you are. I don't know about you guys, but Thursday isn't necessarily my favorite day. And if it's your favorite day, that's awesome. But it is not my favorite day. Why? Because Thursday is the day that Beachbody is a recognition day, right? And it's awesome. And I genuinely get excited for my friends who are moving forward in their business. But what happens sometimes? We start playing the comparison game. We start scrolling through, because you're all guilty of it. Even if you have it disabled, we're all guilty of the bathroom scroll. I know we are. You sit there and you start to scroll. And while you're so excited for some of your friends, you're sitting there thinking, well, good for her. You know, she just rank advanced her business and I've been stuck in my rank for a year. Oh, good for her. She just hit Success Club 20 and I'm struggling to get 5. We do that. And it's not okay, because all that's doing is squashing you. It's diminishing your fire. It's doing absolutely no good. And so I want you to really think about that. When you are busy watching everybody else, you are squashing your own brilliance. You've got to really hone into who you are. Our inner magic shines when we stop trying to replicate other successful ventures and we innovate from our own desires. Because that's where the magic happens. That is where people start saying, gosh, I really like her. She is so awesome. I love her. Because you're being your authentic, genuine self. That's when the magic happens. Being vulnerable, as scary as that is, if you're writing a post up and your gut is in knots and you're thinking, I just don't know if I should share this, chances are you need to share this. You need to share your story. Someone out there needs it. One of the things I do every single morning, we talk about avatars. I'm sure you guys have talked about avatars, your perfect customer, your perfect coach. Every morning I sit down and I ask God, what does someone need to hear from me today? And then I listen. I sit in silence and I listen, because things start flooding into my brain and all of a sudden this post is being crafted. And I don't know why, but I know it needs to be shared. One of my other favorite books that I just finished is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. And she talks about the big magic and all of your creativity happens. And I now have notebooks all over my house, or I have my phone with me. If something comes to me, I immediately write it down. But then you have to take action. Because those thoughts that are coming to you, they want you to let them out and to share them with other people. So being natural, not forced, because that's what draws people to you. So if you're not someone who's really like funny, like I think I'm funny and I like humor, so I share it. But if you're not that person and you don't try to force it, don't be somebody that you're not. If you are someone who, drops word bombs, like, cusses up a storm, and that's you, do it. don't be afraid to offend people. Like, stop worrying about what other people think and just be you. Because if it offends a bunch of people, then do you really want them on your team anyway? Do you really want to work with them? No, you want to work with people who, you know, who get you, who think you're funny, or who admire you for all of those things that you are. Some people write really short posts. Other people are long-winded. I'm obviously long-winded. I write long posts, and there are people who won't read them, and that's fine. Because those people that do read it, obviously, we're going to connect because we are writers, and we like words, and we like to express ourselves. So when we start looking around at others, we strip away our brilliance, creativity, and drive. I'm going to tell you something. If you scroll through your newsfeed right now, what is it filled with? Coaches or potential clients? If it is filled with mostly coaches, there's a problem, because coaches are already coaches. So yes, it's great to like their stuff, but they don't need you to do that, because you're not going to move them to your team. And it's great to support people. Like, I have my few coaches that I do follow very closely because they are my friends and I love them. But most of them I have unfollowed. And then I've just gone into Facebook and created a Beachbody coaches list. And every once in a while I go in there and I get to scroll through and see all of these Beachbody coaches who I love and admire and think are awesome. But they're not continuously popping up in my newsfeed, because again, I start the comparison game. My creativity kind of goes out the window, because now all of a sudden I was thinking of doing a post about this, but I just saw Bonnie Engel's post over here and it was rocking. So how could I remake that, you know? Like, I love Bonnie. Like, Bonnie and I feel like we jive, we get each other. But again, I cannot follow her, because if I do, I stop being myself. I stop being my genuine true self. So put your blinders on. Unfollow coaches. Like, seriously, do it. Get your newsfeed filled with potential clients, potential coaches. So when you are scrolling, you're liking stuff. You're commenting on things. And those people are going to eventually turn into your clients, your coaches. Stop trying to be everybody's cup of tea. Because honestly, be honest, do you like every single person in this world? Because if you do, you're a saint. There are people in this world that I don't get along with. I don't not like them. I just don't get along with them. So would you expect everyone to like you? No. Some people aren't going to like you. So stop trying to tiptoe around and please them. Like, if you try to appeal to everyone, you're going to appeal to no one. You've got to narrow it down. You've got to figure out who your perfect avatar is. My perfect avatar, she is my BFF. I know everything about her. I know what magazines she reads. I know what music she listens to. I know everything about her. So when I sit down to craft a post, I'm crafting it to her. One person. What does my best friend need to hear from me today? How can I change her world? How can I inspire her? How can I make her laugh? That is your job. Not to make everyone like you, but to get your tribe, your crew, your small group to follow you. Because that is going to be way more important than trying to reach everyone. Just do you. Just be you. And that's what I have found. I am myself. And when I start to feel like I'm stepping away and not being true to myself, I have a reality check. Because I want to share my genuine, authentic self with people. I have shared a lot of things in my life. Is everything perfect? Absolutely not. And you need to share those moments that are not perfect. Put your silver lining in it. But honestly, those vulnerable posts, those posts where you're really struggling, that's what touches people. That's what brings people in. Because now all of a sudden they're like, you're my best friend. I feel like I know everything about you. I wanted to finish really quick with this poem. It's on YouTube. I'm sure you've heard it, but it always makes me cry, and I think it goes really well with being you and branding yourself. It is Who You Are, a message to all women. I'm just going to read it. You are beautiful. You are smart. You are funny. You are kind. You're unique. You are worthy of love and affection. You are never too much, and you are always enough. You are precious. You are a diamond, a rose, a pearl, the most stunning of all God's creations. You are worth more than you can ever imagine. You are worth more than the numbers on a scale or the hair product you use or the shoes you wear. More than how many girls wish they were you or how many guys wish they had you. More than the price tags on your clothes or the percentage on the top of your math test or even the number of followers you have on Twitter. Your worth surpasses all earthly things because in the eyes of the Lord God, you are loved. You are worth dying for regardless of who you think you are. Whether you model in a magazine or you model pottery with grandma, whether you are on the hot list or the not list, whether you're head cheerleader or a high school dropout, whether you are Miss Popular or you never had anyone you can call a friend, whether you love yourself or love your life or you can't stand to look in the mirror and you feel as if everything in your life is falling apart, whether you're such a winner or you feel like the world's biggest failure, regardless of who you think you are, the reality is you deserve someone who will give up their life for you because you are powerful and strong and capable. Read about the women in the Bible: Esther, Ruth, Martha, Mary. These women changed the world forever. And inside of you, each and every one of you, is a woman with that same power and that same strength and the same world-changing capability. And your responsibility is to find that woman and set that woman free. This is who you are. And any voices in your mind that try to tell you differently are from the enemy. That is one of my favorite things because you are loved. You are incredible. And you have this amazing gift inside of you. You are special. And the world deserves to hear from you, to see you, to get to know you, because you are going to touch people's lives. There are people out there waiting just for you. And they're waiting to hear your message. Maybe they've heard of Beachbody 5, 10, 15 times, and it's never connected, but you wrote a post and all of a sudden, it made sense. That is important. You are important. So it is your job and your responsibility to share your beautiful gifts with this world. Don't take it lightly. Stop worrying about the haters, the naysayers. Stop worrying about what everyone thinks, because there are going to be people out there who need you, who need your words. So I am so thankful that I was offered this opportunity to speak on this call. I am just get out there and share who you are. Thanks again for jumping on. I am so grateful for you guys.
Wow, you like completely empowered me. That was so cool. Love that what you shared at the end. And you said it was on YouTube?
Yeah, it is. I can send you the link.
Yeah, send me the link and I'll post it in my group because I want to hear it again and then I want to share it with them. But that was really cool. And you are so right. I have Girl Code. I need to start it. I'm reading like Beautiful Uncertainty right now, and I think I'll get through it like in the next couple of days, and then I'll start Girl Code because that sounds like right up my alley of what I want. So, man, that is incredible. Thank you so much. Your story is amazing, and I mean, just made you just that much more incredible in my eyes. So thank you so much for being here. And I'll have it up on YouTube if you want to share with your team or if you want to share with anybody the recording. But thank you so much, girl.
Thank you.